Hello, everybody. Welcome back to this week's edition of Terrace Talk. Norwich City back on the road this weekend at the 12:30 kickoff at Coventry. Looking forward to it. David Wagner looking for back-to-back wins to start off his reign. And it's Coventry City, as I've just said. So with that, delighted to be joined by Myles from Sky Blues Fan TV. Myles, just want to get the take on the season so far from Coventry. It feels a bit of an indifferent season so far. You know, you started off the season very slowly, 3 draws, 5 defeats, but you kind of picked up, had a little bit of a run, and then more recently you've dropped off a little bit again. So just talk us about this, through the season so far.
Yeah, so you're probably all aware, but yeah, we had a bit of a sticky start at the beginning of the season because we didn't have a pitch to play on. So we were playing every fortnight, and teams were playing week in, week out, and we literally couldn't get a rhythm going. And finally, we got the pitch situation sorted, and we got a good run going just before the World Cup, and pushed ourselves within touching distance of the playoffs. I think before the World Cup, we were something like 2 points off the playoffs with a couple of games in hand. Then the World Cup break happened. We've come back, and we really haven't started to get going again, really, to be honest with you. I mean, possibly should have got a point at Burnley at the weekend. Very unlucky. Tired towards the end because the squad's just not big enough. I'll say it on a lot of shows where everyone's got a 31-man squad. We've got a 21-man squad. We had 2 goalkeepers on the bench at the weekend. So that shows the depth of our team, that we literally haven't got enough players in the team to be able to switch it up a bit. But, it's just been one of those. I think we couldn't have asked for a worse start to the season than we did. And, it's just took its time. And I just wish we could start get going again. And it's just taken a little bit longer than we thought. A couple of upset injuries with Callum O'Hare getting injured again. He's going to be out for probably 9 to 10 months. That's a massive loss to us. And then Fabio Tavares got injured in the Wrexham FA Cup defeat. And it's just one of those. I just hope we can just get it going quicker than we already have done, to be honest with you.
Yeah, just moving the attention away from on-the-field matters to off-the-field matters. Everyone knows Coventry's issues in recent years with ownership and stadium issues, etc., etc. But it feels like maybe a little bit of a breath of fresh air's come in. Doug King been appointed as your new owner. So what's the feeling amongst the fan base? Is it positive off the back of that news?
Yeah, so it has been quite positive, to be honest with you. There's been a few bits of negativity out there, but not from people that understand about what's going on at the club. The guy, he's got a little bit more money than probably Sisu have to put into the club. So he will invest in the playing side, where Sisu, what they wanted to do was to please their shareholders. Doug King's come in. He's already said that we're going to invest in the squad. We're going to move forward. We thought we would have had a couple of players in by today. We got 2 quick signings last week, but this week it's just gone a little bit quiet. We have had a couple of people lined up, which we think is true. It might not be true, but a lot of us are saying that the rumours are going around that are going to happen. It's just taken a little bit longer than we thought. It is looking a bit brighter because Mark Robins, whenever we come into a transfer market, we've never got anyone really to be able to sign. We signed 1 player last January, which was Bidwell. We signed 1 permanent signing in July, which was Casey Palmer. We brought in 3 loan players. One of them went back within a week, back to Crystal Palace. Panzo's come in and Doyle are loans. And then we just brought in 2 new loan players, one from Arsenal, who played very well at the weekend. He was at Rotherham for 6 months, and he's now joined us. And we've got Josh from Man City, a young lad again, very talented, but he picked up an injury in training. I don't know what we're doing in training, but we keep injuring all our players. But something moved quite quick with Doug King coming in last week. And we're hoping, as I say, it's going to happen again. It's just nice that Mark Robins can go after players where he hasn't been able to in the past, to be honest with you. It's been very tough for him.
Yeah, you just mentioned there, Mark Robins, a well-loved name amongst the Norwich City fan base, an ex-player, and one man that got potentially linked with the recent vacancy that we had before the appointment of David Wagner. So, do you want to get your thoughts on Mark Robins and the job he's done so far at Coventry? It feels like he's taken you on quite the journey.
Yeah, well, he's been here over 5 years now. It's been one hell of a journey, especially with the budget that he's had to work with. I think even currently we're the third lowest budget in the league, and he just seems to work magic with the players that we've got. And from when he took over just before the Checkatrade final, I think that's when the sort of clubs started moving in the right direction. It was, although we got relegated out of League One, he came in, steadied the ship, and he's been there ever since. And I think maybe he's had a lot of input in what goes on off the field as well as on the field, and that's how the team's improved. But the best thing about it is that he's stuck to his guns, and he's always played the same type of football. So we like to play football, keeping it on the floor. We like to pass it around. We like to play it out from the back, and we even did that in League Two to get out of League Two. We could have ended up like Notts County. They got to the semi-finals. We knocked them out. I always think that if that was us, that could be us now in the National League, because that's how close we came to really falling out the league. It got to that point where the club was going nowhere, and he's come in and he's sort of rescued us. And we went up in the first year in League Two, went up in the second year in League One, and we're in our third year in the Championship. And everyone says that we're in our third year, and this is the year we're going to go up. We're going to do it a 1, and then a 2, and then a 3. But considering the size of the squad, I don't see us doing this with you. But it's good fun, and he's a fantastic guy. He's brilliant. But it's not him. It's the backroom staff. Adi Viadas, Dennis Lawrence. They've all played a part in it, really. Dave Boddy, chief executive, he's played a part in it. So it's a team effort, I think. But Mark Robins he deserves a statue now at the CBS Arena, or he deserves something, because he's done wonders, absolutely wonders. He deserves to be at a bigger club, to be honest with you. He deserves to be in the Premier League. But I think he wants to do it with us. I think he's got a plan, and he wants to get us promoted, and he wants to do it that way. I don't think he wants the easy route in.
Yeah, one striker that seems to have benefited from being under Mark Robins is Victor Gyökeres up front. 12 goals so far this season. Seems to be kind of the star man in that Coventry team. So, yeah, what's he been like this season? What's his strengths? And maybe are you concerned that another team are going to come and poach him at some point in the near future?
Yeah, it's a big question, isn't it? Who's going to come in for him? Now, listen, they've all said even Mark Robins has come out and said he's not for sale. He's not going anywhere. But everybody's got a price, and I always say it: if someone is always for sale, if the price comes in and it's right or it's silly, you'd be silly not to take it and invest in the team. I think that if the young lad is still learning his game, we should have took the lead last Saturday. He went round the keeper and he didn't let it go first time. Defenders got back. They stopped the ball, and really, he should have put one away last week. And that could have been a different story. He is a great finisher. He's very powerful, but he's got to have about 10 shots to score 1 at the moment, because he's that sort of age. He's a little bit greedy at times, but do you know what? He's marvellous. He's so strong. He's powerful. When we came to Carrow Road, actually, early on in the season, we've seen the team news, and we were playing Tyler Walker up front. Everyone just put their heads in the hand, and they went, oh, my God, we're in for a hammering. And didn't we just get a hammering? Because we approached that game as if it was like, I don't know, just an exercise. It was just an exercise. It just wasn't right. But I think if Vic plays Saturday, if he hasn't got a knock-in injury this week, he could cause some trouble. And he is a bit of a talent. He's just got to learn to look up and pass it at times, and not think that he can take everybody on. But he is class, real class.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that 3-0 victory. That was probably one of the highlights of the Dean Smith era. So I think a lot of Norwich fans feeling much more positive coming down to the Coventry this Saturday. But just want to get what the expectations are now for the rest of the season for Coventry. Do you think maybe you can mount a playoff push, or do you think maybe mid-table and maybe build for next season under Mark Robins?
I always say we're going to get the last spot, but no, to be honest with you, it'd be fantastic, wouldn't it? It's a dream come true if we did. I mean, we are knocking on the door. We've dropped a few points the last couple of games, which has let us slip down a little bit. The gap's getting a little bit bigger now. I think it's 6 points. That's our 2 games in hand that we've got. So that gap is getting bigger. And who's to say if we go on a run like we did before the World Cup, who's to say that we won't slot into that 6th place? I'm always optimistic. I always say that we will get in there, even if we don't. But if we finish 1 place above where we finished last season, it's improvement. You can't wave a magic wand and it's all going to happen overnight. It takes time, and it's going to take time, I think. And we've all got to sort of get our feet on the ground, just enjoy the football that we've got, stay up this season again, and then hopefully reinvest in the summer. And I mean, when I mean reinvest, I mean reinvest. I mean really bring some good players in, really bring some top-notch players into the team, because, we signed Martin Waghorn, absolute. It's just been a flop. Hasn't worked. Tyler Walker hasn't worked. These players, they've come in living off their names or their dad's names, and it just hasn't worked for us. We need to really, I think, we've just changed in recruitment team as well. So our recruitment team left during the World Cup break, went up to Blackpool. So we're having to rebuild that as well. And I think Mark Robbins mentioned on Saturday that the recruitment team is a one-man band at the moment. So he can't be everywhere. So he's now building his team to then go out and look for some top quality players, the likes of Hamer, O'Hare, that we've picked up on, and we've brought them in. And same as Victor as well. He was at Swansea, didn't get a game time. We brought him in on loan, and he's just become a magnificent player. Ben Sheaf's another one from Arsenal. Maestro in the midfield, just sweeps up everything. He's brilliant. And that's probably what we've got to do on a realistic note. We got to look at it for next season, but you never know. We could nick that 6th spot. Who knows? No one ever knows.
Fingers crossed for you guys. You can. There's a few connections down the years between the 2 clubs. Certain players. Darren Huckabee's probably a well-known one and a well-loved character from both teams. James Maddison, of course, and now in the England squad for the Qatar World Cup, albeit the injuries limited his game time. But just want to speak about a player that's in the current Norwich squad that came through at Coventry, young Sam McCallum. Just want to know what Coventry fans' feelings are towards him and what sort of his spell was like at Coventry.
Oh, absolutely superb spell. We that's another one that we picked up from nowhere and come through non-league, and we picked him up, and Norwich sniffed him out again and bought him at a steal. We seem to have a relationship with Norwich. You can have them for nothing by the looks of this. Sam McCallum's great. I think we would have got him last season if it wasn't for QPR offering his full wage, I think, because I remember having a little chat with his mum and dad on the coach. I think it was, I can't remember which game. I think it was Hull away. His mum and dad were on the coach, and they were telling us that I think he wanted to come back to Coventry last season as well. You bought him, we had him back on loan, and he really wanted to come back, but I think we couldn't offer the wages, and that's one of the things that we've struggled with. But Sam McCallum, great young talent. I haven't seen how he's getting on since he's come into your team, because he didn't play against us, did he, the first game? I think he was injured at the time.
In and out of the team. Him and Yanulis we've got, they're kind of battling it out at the moment. So
and he's got a good shot on him as well. I don't know if you've seen the goal that he scored against Bournemouth when he was on loan with us. Absolute peach of a goal. So he can cross it, he can score, he can, he's an all round good lad, and he can do whatever he puts his mind to. He is a good talent, and he played well at QPR against us last season when we went down there. He had a good game against us there, and after the game he came up to the away fans and we all clapped him and cheered him, and he has got a real good reputation with the Cov fans.
Yeah, and it's moving the attention forward to Saturday. I want to get your take on the game. Norwich City, obviously, under new management in David Wagner, a 4-0 away win at Preston last Saturday. So the mood's quite high. Everyone's feeling positive. So, yeah, what are your thoughts on the game? Coventry fans feeling positive or maybe fearing the worst?
Well, it's on telly, so anything can happen. We do up our game against the big teams. apart from the away leg down at your place. That was just a horror show. But yeah, I mean, we raised our game. It's, I mean, that's a great result you got last weekend away at Preston. We've never ever won at Preston in the league. Never. We won in the cup, but not the league. It's a bit of a voodoo ground for us. So to go to Preston and get a result is absolutely superb. But going on to Saturday, anything can happen. It's on Sky. We raise our game. I think it's going to be a good attendance because the new owners come in, so I think the fans are going to come up as well and celebrate that. And it could be an entertaining game. It could be end to end. Both teams playing football. And if we play like we did in the first 70 minutes against Burnley, I think you could be in for a rough day, to be honest, because they really had to work hard for their result at the weekend. And with us being at home, you've got Singers Corner, block 14, 15 and 16. We're very, very loud. And I don't think you've experienced that yet, have you? Because no. You weren't. No, that's right. So it'd be your first season experience, the old Singers Corner. And I think it's going to be a nice game of football. But then, knowing me saying that, and like the commentators always say, they say there's going to be goals in this game, and it ends up being a boring 0-0, doesn't it? But I think it should be a good laugh, shouldn't it? It's going to be great. It's on telly, and we haven't been on telly since July the 31st. So, which was the first game of the season for us at Sunderland. Sky just haven't put us on, so we've got a point to prove to the cameras as well.
Yeah, you just said there about sort of potentially being a 0-0, or it could be a high-scoring game. So they're going to put you on the spot and ask you for a score prediction.
1-0.
Was it Norwich or 1-0?
Loads of goals. I'll go for 1-0 Sky Blues. Got to, and I really, to be fair. But I'll take a 1-0 all day. We need to get back to winning ways, and it's going to be a good game. Yeah.
Yeah, looking forward to it. And to round off the show, Myles, do you want to just plug your channel and where any Norwich or Coventry fans can find you guys?
Yeah, so just head over to Twitter, YouTube, or Facebook or Instagram and just follow Sky Blue Fans TV. If any fans are around on Saturday, I'll be live streaming from outside the CBS. We're starting at Jimmy Hill statue round about 11:30. We'll be there. So come and say hello and have a little live stream to all the fans. And if there's any Norwich fans that can't make it Saturday and they want to tune in, get on YouTube, follow us on there, and you'll be able to watch the atmosphere outside the ground this Saturday. And then I believe you're coming on ours tomorrow night, I think. So everyone tune in tomorrow night.
Yeah, 7:30 tomorrow evening. We'll be there. I'm looking forward to that one. Myles, really appreciate your time this evening. Looking forward to the trip on Saturday, and hopefully we'll get a good game. And with that, we'll round off the show. Just want to make a little bit of a plug as well. A young Norwich fan, 8-year-old Amber, unfortunately tragically passed away this week. So there's going to be a clap on the 8th minute. So any Norwich fans or Coventry fans going to the game on Saturday, then that's going to be a nice moment. So try and join in with that. And hopefully for Norwich City's sake, they can pick up another 3 points and the positive momentum can continue. But looking forward to it. 2,500 Norwich fans at the moment making the journey down. So it should be a very good game. Thanks for joining us. And I think it's Burnley up next because Norwich got a weekend off next weekend with not being in FA Cup action. So that will round off the show. Thanks for joining us.